Douglas.
Good afternoon. Well, it's
It's
afternoon for me.
yeah, it's good night for me.
Okay. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much, firstly, for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
Absolutely. I've seen some of your podcasts, so I thought it was quite interesting and wanted to see what it was all about. So I'm excited about this. I apologize. It's been so busy with holidays and work. I know we've been wanting to get together for a while, so I'm glad we finally was able to make the opportunity.
Yeah, so I've gone through your profile. I can see you're doing a lot of work. So I thought to tell about your work to my audience.
You bet. So, I'm originally I'm an oil and gas guy. I've been working for companies drilling oil wells all over the United States. And a couple of years ago, a mutual acquaintance out of Fort Worth uh, told a guy up in New York that he should give me a call if he's looking for natural gas. And so that's kind of how my career as the CEO of a Bitcoin mining company started 2 years ago. Actually, 2 years ago, October.
So you're CEO of this company, and I can also see you have your own company as well.
Yeah, so, the Bitcoin mining is where I'm a partner and owner in. The mineral, oil and gas mineral property, I'm not an owner of that company, but from a good friend of mine for 30 years actually owns that company, and we work together on it. So I do all the sales, marketing for that side of the company. When we first started about 4 years ago on that venture, I was part of the acquisition team. Now we're busy enough. I don't have time to, be part of all the pieces of the company. And so I just mainly stay within my little lane of sales, marketing, investor relations.
So before talking about more about your work, I just want to tell about my sponsor for this episode.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's Start Adam. Sales and customer facing teams often switch between several communication tools, causing time management and visibility issues that can slow down deal velocity. The solution, join Start Adam, where conversation converts. With Start Adam, your team can centralize all communications with your chat tool. No more switching, waiting, or fragmented chats because chat messaging is where business gets done. Sales teams can stay in Slack or Microsoft Teams and connect with customers, leads, or candidates on their existing chat tool, building their building better relationships through constant communication in inbound or outbound messaging. Make it encrypted and compliant. Plus, bring all communications in your CRM or ticketing system, no data entry required. Join Start Adam to enhance customer relationships and close deals at hyper speed with unified chat. Thank you very much again for being on my show.
You bet. Technology is a wonderful thing, let me tell you. I had actually, my career many years ago, back in the 1900s, I was in technology. So to see where it is today, it's amazing. But
Yeah.
we've seen technology do a lot of things.
Yeah. So, have you used any chat tool for your communication, for your business, or for your the business that you are working for?
You talk in regards to the mining.
Yeah.
So good thing is I actually know a little bit about some of the mining uh, pieces, as far as infrastructure is concerned. Um, I'm getting a feed. I apologize. Turn that down. Maybe. But as far as in the Bitcoin mining, I know what switches are, networks, internet connectivity. I've been using internet connectivity since 2,400 baud modems. If that tells you anything. But with the connectivity within the containers and buildings where they're mining equipment, I kind of understand how those things get plugged together and how they kind of work in unison together. So that was, helpful. It's not just energy that I'm a part of. And it was kind of, different roads, different paths of life lead you down different things. I actually opened up my first crypto wallet several months before I got called to be a part of this crypto mining. So I had a little bit of work. It's really interesting. And I knew that there was money in this industry. I just didn't know that I would be on the side of the industry. So that's always in. Things work together.
So 2 years ago, you're working in a different company and you're working for.
I'm sorry, I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Can you hear me? Can
Yeah.
you hear?
A little bit, yeah. I turned my volume up a little bit. I apologize. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll rejoin. I'll rejoin in the chat. I'll rejoin the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's a lot better, actually.
Yeah. So my Bluetooth was disconnected.
Oh, okay.
So I was asking you that 2 years ago you're working in a company and you're running a business and you're working for sales and different things. And coming into this company and working for this, how is that experience?
And it's been interesting, learning a lot of new things. But I call it divine intervention. Some people call it lucky. But, when I was called to bring energy to their Bitcoin mining idea, it led us down a lot of different roads. And I called one of my cousins in West Texas, and I said, hey, we're looking for energy, but we're looking for electricity. And she just so happened to know a guy that worked for a power company. And so, long story short, I was talking to the guy, and I told him that my granddaddy had a farm just a mile west of their office. And my last name, Hardwick, and there's a Hardwick Road named after my granddaddy. And so our little bitty startup was able to get a power purchase agreement that some very big established companies were vying for. And but they said, hey, we want to do business with someone local. And so that's how we ended up getting a very good power purchase agreement with the local power company. And then my cousin's authorized to build on their property, on the power company's property. So building, different things. It's funny how life kind of leads you down different paths that you would never guess before. If you told me 2 years ago I'd be a CEO of a Bitcoin mining company, I would have probably told you you're crazy. But here we are. And we actually just started mining late last year. When we first started started our company, Bitcoin was at its peak in November of 21. And so there was a lot of things that happened in the next year and a half that prevented us from mining. And so now everything kind of seemed to fall into place, because if we had started mining a year ago, our miners would have cost 2 or 3 times what we've paid for them. And now we're mining today. We just started mining in the fourth quarter of last year. And so we're real excited where the paths are taking us. And one thing I've been wanting to do for a while is actually do a crowd fund. I guess you're familiar with crowd funds.
Yeah.
And so we put together a small crowd fund, because at the end of the day, and a lot of people talk about this, and we actually put actions to our words, we wanted to be part of the blockchain community, the crypto community, the Bitcoin community. And community to us is a big thing, and that's where a crowd fund actually allows everyone to be a part of our company. And so that's why we did a crowd fund. We made the minimum as low as we could make it, so the entry to get in is as little as possible. It's $100. So people could have ownership into a company for as little as $100, all the way up. So we're real excited. So we started mining, and we also had our crowd fund started, and so now we're able to take those funds from the crowd fund and go right into buying equipment and expanding our operations.
How your business works?
So you mean as far as mining for Bitcoin or the funding?
Yeah, mining for Bitcoin.
Okay. So, there's two kinds of computers. Well, I say two. So, how you have your regular PC with the Intel or AMD processor, and they process ones and zeros. Whereas a Bitcoin mining computer, they call it an ASIC, ASIC. And so that's a mathematical type processor, without getting too technical. And so what these computers do is they solve a puzzle. And it takes, I read 100 sextillion tries to be able to solve that puzzle. And that puzzle that you solve is a Bitcoin. And so people think of mining, you think of mining for gold. And so you go out into a creek or a hill or somewhere, and you go dig up some dirt and stuff, and you put it in a pan, you shake it around with some water, and at the bottom you'll find some little gold pieces. That's mining for gold. That's physical. What we're doing is we're mining for digital gold. And the way we get our digital gold is these computers are solving little puzzles. And when that puzzle is solved, you get rewarded with a Bitcoin. That makes sense?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So how your previous experiences are making you do the present work?
Well, it goes back to I was in the oil and gas business, and which, everybody thinks about the energy with oil and gas. And Bitcoin mining requires a lot of energy. And so there is a lot of synergy between those two industries. And I think that down the road, you're going to see oil and gas companies, if they don't start, they may merge with a Bitcoin mining company. And so that way they can keep it all in-house. Because one of the things that we've learned, with drilling oil and gas here in the United States, you have to have infrastructure to get the natural gas to the refinery. And that's a pipeline. And these days it's been very difficult to get pipelines approved and built. So what are you going to do when you drill a well? And my expertise in, what happens in the oil field, I understand that when you drill a well, a lot of times you're going to have natural gas. If you don't have the infrastructure and pipeline to sell that natural gas, you don't have very many options. You can flare the gas, that methane, into the air, which is, people really frown on that. it's not good for the environment. The second thing they can do is they can just burn it. And so that just is a flame, off of this big old pipe near the oil well. And people don't like that too much either. And so the other option that they have today or yesterday is they have to shut the well in, they turn it off. Because if you can't get rid of the gas, you can't produce the oil. And so what we can do as a Bitcoin mining company is we can take a container of miners out into the oil field. And we can get a generator that converts that stranded gas into electricity. And now we help these oil companies make money with their natural gas if it's stranded, help them make money with a well that's been drilled but they've got nowhere to go and they can't, flare or vent the gas. So we're able to help the environment, we're able to help the oil and gas company, and then we're also able to help all the people that own Bitcoin. So be it transactions, most people don't realize this, is that Bitcoin miners just don't mine for Bitcoin. We also handle all the transactions that go on the internet, through the internet of the Bitcoin blockchain, if you will. So there's a lot of positive effects that come along with knowing how to work with the oil and gas companies. So yeah, it's been a really interesting learning experience on how oil and gas and Bitcoin mining make a really nice partnership.
So working in oil and gas company for a long time. So what all you have learned?
In the oil and gas business?
Yeah.
Man. So, about 5 years ago, we heard a lot of politicians say how they're going to shut down the oil and gas industry because it's bad for the environment. But what people don't realize is that oil and gas isn't just oil and gas. It isn't just energy. What some people call fossil fuels. Oil and gas makes everything. So the computer, the internet, all the wires that connect everything, that all requires somebody to drill an oil well and gas well, because when they refine, the raw crude oil that comes up out of the ground, depending on the quality of the oil, about 40 to 60% of that barrel of oil is used for fuel. The rest of it is used to make plastic. So whether you're making a cell phone, you're making glasses, a mouse, your computers, everything plastic, your medical equipment, even medicine requires natural gas. And so, your clothes that you wear, the colors, the cars, windmills, the wind turbines, the solar panels, everything. In my opinion, if you look around whatever building you're in, everything there is because somebody first drilled an oil and gas well. And so that's one of I think the most important lessons I've learned is that the oil and gas industry is the foundation of the world's economy.
So coming from oil and gas business to the Bitcoin company. So how is that transformation and what is the connection?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, Bitcoin mining requires a lot of energy, electricity. And so we can either, there's two ways we get electricity. One is on-grid, which is plugging right into the power station. Or the second way is we go to the oil company and take their natural gas into an electric generator. It has a motor that uses natural gas. So there's two options, on-grid or off-grid. Off-grid's oil and gas. And so what we're learning is that we can help clean the environment and help people with their existing wells and turn it into a profit center for them as opposed to a problem.
So what kind of problems that you want to solve?
Well, so we're able to bring with our crowd fund, we're actually able to bring the ability for everybody in the world to be a part of our Bitcoin mining. And I think Bitcoin mining or the Bitcoin network, I think is an ability for everybody in the world to enhance their position in life. You know, as far as net worth, with how much money they have, because anybody can be a part of this network. And there's even countries now that use Bitcoin as opposed to their uh, existing monetary fund or monetary system to help buy and sell goods and services within their country because their monetary system, collapsed. So Bitcoin offers a lot of different benefits to anybody in the world that, you got internet access, you can get a part of it.
So how it works, how it is going to be used, and what are the things that are involved in it?
So for our crowd fund, how about
For
be a part of the
mining,
company?
Bitcoin mining.
Yeah. So, you can be a part of Bitcoin mining. A lot of people think you have to go buy this $2,000 computer, and most people can't do that. Plus, with Bitcoin mining, you need your power uh, supply to be inexpensive. And so electricity has to be cheap. And if you go to your house, usually the electricity bill that you pay at your house is too expensive to be able to mine for Bitcoin profitably. So we're using the economy of scale, as they say. So we're able to bring Bitcoin mining to anybody around the world that wants to be a part of it. And so by being a part of the company, and right now it starts out, if you buy into our crowd fund, they call it a SAFE, S-A-F-E. So you're getting future equity into the company. And so in the company, what we plan on in 5 years is to be $1 billion company. I think we're on the right path to that. So as your equity, it turns into equity in the company that's making money, we also are looking at, we have plans to give our owners of our company a dividend. And so that'll create your quarterly cash flow, just like dividends in any other public company. And so, that's where the growth, we're hoping in the next 5 years or so that we've got $1 billion company, and people that join the crowd fund today, you're looking at about a 40-to-1 on your money, which is really quite healthy. That's a big return if we can do that over the next 5 years. So, helping people make money and improve their situation in life.
So working in oil and gas company, so what are the best experiences that you have?
Oh man, I met a lot of good people. But like with any group, there's a couple of sore heads in any industry. So, I've learned patience. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of things you learn as far as being a part of any industry. But, I think the biggest lesson I learned is what all oil and gas really is used for. And so the whole world needs oil and gas. Second and third world countries, the only way to improve their economic position as a country is inexpensive energy. And right now, the most inexpensive energy is oil or natural gas and nuclear. And so we need to have more of that to help to lift other countries out of poverty and into a thriving economy like we have here in the States.
So do you understand the geology?
Oh, a little bit. Enough to be dangerous. Why do you ask? What do you want to know?
Because because it's been the history behind it that the oil and gas is being created because of a lot of chemical things,
Yeah.
from years. So I'm sure working in this industry and in this uh, business, you must have known a lot.
Yeah. So it is. Yeah. It depends on who you talk to. Uh, and I think it was one of your podcasts actually that talked about oil and gas in the ground really isn't dinosaurs. And so, uh, it's interesting. I remember when I first got started in the oil and gas business, we're sitting around the break table, we're talking about tectonic plates. And I said, well, uh, I don't think the world was all one big mass. I think God made it the way it is today. And they're like, well, tectonic plates. And I said, well, tectonic plates is just a theory. It's not a fact. And they're like, oh no, it's a theory. It's a theory. And so I went to the GS, United States Geological Association.org, and I looked up in their dictionary for tectonic plates, and they said it's a theory. So I showed it to them, and they got pretty quiet. So there's a lot of theories. Nobody that I know of that's on the earth today was around when the earth was created or, happened, however your belief system works, whether it's the Big Bang or, God spoke it into existence or, whatever other ideas are out there. It doesn't really matter how the oil and gas got there. All I know is it's there. And so we need to be very careful on how we extract that oil and gas so that we don't harm the environment. I think other countries really should look at how the American oil and gas industry, the care that we take when we're drilling and extracting oil and natural gas is, there's a big mess when we're doing the work. But when that well is online and producing, the land around it looks like a state park. We put grass and trees and bushes and all kinds of things back into place to make it environmentally friendly as much as possible. And I think that's really important to understand. We do everything we can and we keep learning better ways of trapping methane so it doesn't get out into the atmosphere. You hear a lot of things about that, and I think we're one of the best countries in the world on how we drill, extract, operate our oil wells and gas wells, and to be environmentally friendly. I think that's very important. I grew up in the country. When I was a little kid, we had 268 acres, had 11-acre lake. I would be hunting, fishing, trapping, just walking through the woods, and so the environment and nature is really important to me from a kid. And even today, I ride a motorcycle and I love riding out into the country and just smelling the clean air, getting out of the city here. Just enjoying creation and what's out there. And, oh man, there's so much to see. People need to get out. I think that's where I get to kind of reset and refresh my whole attitude is when I'm out and got the breeze to the knees, as we say, and just enjoying, the nature, if you will.
So you understand everything about Earth crust.
The crust?
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think I understand everything. I know enough to be dangerous. But, there's a lot of oil and gas, and we need to take care of how we extract it. But what is your question?
So how depth you went into the Earth?
Oh, vertically, I think I've been as deep as 18,000 feet. I've done a lot of wells in the 2,000 to 3,000 foot era. Um, But, as far as a vertical depth, I've been as deep as 18,000, I think is probably the deepest I've been.
So, how do you feel when you're going inside and exploring the earth inside?
Mm-hmm.
What is your feeling? Because something that is nobody knows you're going into it.
Yeah. So, uh, when I first started in the oil and gas business, we were just vertical wells, about 5,000 to 8,000 foot straight down. And then about 2005, 2006 maybe, we started going horizontal, right? So now we drill down and then we curve and then we go horizontal for 1, 2, 3 miles, and which is a long, long way. And I remember when we first started going horizontal, I asked a geologist, I said, if you had a target under the ground, how close do you think you are to hitting bullseye? He said, probably within 3 feet. And we were only drilling maybe 1,000 to 1,500 foot horizontal wells. Well, today they're drilling 2 and 3 miles, horizontal. And you ask a geologist today, which I did a couple of 3, 4 years ago, and he said probably within a half an inch. So, technology is really something. And when I'm selling these mineral properties, and we're selling minerals, it's a mile or two away from the well. And so people will ask me, well, what about the landowner? What's he think? And I'm like, they don't even know it's there. Because when you're drilling down 8, 12, 14,000 feet before you start going horizontal. You're 1+ miles straight down. You don't know what's going on underneath your feet when you're that deep. So, landowners, people on the surface, they don't know what's going on under the ground. It doesn't affect them. It doesn't hurt them. Water table, the drinking water, they call the water table, they're typically, maybe 100 to 200 foot deep at the most. I have seen areas where it's 400 feet, but, you're drilling thousands and thousands of feet straight down. So we're a long ways from a water table.
So, do you find something that is different in this process going into it?
On the horizontal from vertical,
Vertical.
there's technology. So I think the oil and gas industry probably uses more technology than any other industry in the world. And, from finding, with 3D seismic, to drilling, the technology to drill the horizontal well, to get it going from, 3 foot, bullseye to a 1/2 inch bullseye. That was technology. The formations have an ebb and flow. And so when they're drilling, they call it the measurement while drilling, logging while drilling, and MWD, LWD tools that steers that drill bit to keep it within that sweet spot. Man, that's a technology it just blows your mind when you think about it. You sit in a trailer and watch the guy steering the drill bit through the earth and all the different views and monitors that he has in front of him while they're drilling is phenomenal. Then when he's done, they got to come in and frack it. When we first started, we were doing all one stage frack. You frack 1,000 foot all at one time. Well, now on a 2-mile horizontal well, you could have 40 to 50 stage fracks all through that well. It's incredible what they're doing. From perfing, the technology of fracking, and, goes back to the oil and gas industry. One of the biggest things that we get when oil prices, oil prices are always going up and down, right? If it goes up, it's going to come down. If it goes down, it's going to come back up. So oil prices are always moving. And what I have found, or from what I see, my own assumptions and what I look at is every time the price of oil goes down, the American ingenuity in the oil and gas industry finds a better way to make a better well for a lot less money. And so when you look at the technology changes in how they drill and complete and operate an oil well and gas well changes. And that's why we're getting better production today out of the same formations than what we were getting maybe 5 or 10 years ago, is because technology keeps advancing. And so you want to make sure you're with the right kind of company that uses the latest and greatest technologies, to extract the oil and gas.
So what do you say about underground transportation?
Pardon?
Uh, Underground transportation.
Underground?
Yeah, transportation.
As in cars? Truck?
Yeah, cars, vehicle. Yeah.
I don't know anything about underground transportation. I mean, tunnels through a mountain.
Right.
But, I don't know about transportation underground other than, water's always moving under the ground. I don't know. I'm not familiar with transportation under the ground.
So have you worked underwater?
Oh, no. No, I'm not a frog man. Matter of fact, that's my bucket list, is go scuba diving one day. I've never even scuba dived. So I want to do that one day.
So apart from business, what you do?
Oh, man. Let's see. Raise a daughter. Volunteer. I volunteered at church and high school and local community work. When I get free time, I like to get on my motorcycle and ride through the country. I'm a fan of hamburgers and French fries, and so I'll ride 2 or 3 miles out into the country somewhere and find me a hamburger stand I've never been to, and then I post that on Facebook, and so friends and family and people at church. They don't comment on Facebook. They'll comment to me in person. Doug, I saw you was at that restaurant the other day. That looked pretty good. So, I do a lot of that, riding around and posting sandwich pictures. So that's always fun.
And I saw you have done a lot of different different jobs and different works in your life. So how do you define that? Working in different
Yeah.
positions.
Okay. So I grew up in Ohio, and my dad's from Abilene, Texas. And about, probably not even a year after I graduated high school, I moved to Abilene, Texas, and started working in construction. And then about 2 years later, I moved to Dallas to be an aircraft mechanic. And I was working construction during the day, fell off the roof, and ended up in the hospital. Coming out of there, I had to find a different job, and I found a job working for a manufacturing company and worked that for 6 years, traveling all over the United States. We were a paper converting company. From there out, when I got laid off, I went into technology, selling hard drives and floppy drives. I was selling 40 megabyte hard drives for like $500. And I ended up learning how to do networks and build computers, and that's one of the things I specialized in was high-end network servers and network desktops. And after the technology bust, the dot-com, as they call it, in '01, I worked for 6 or 8 months. I worked in the mortgage industry, and a friend of mine says, "Hey, Doug, why don't you come work for us over here at the oil and gas company?" And so I went over there and took a job there, and that was in 2001. And so I've been in the oil and gas business since then. But I worked for that company for about 8 years. and then went off on my own for a couple of years, and then worked for another drilling company that was drilling in West Virginia. Worked for them for I think 6 years, and then I was asked to help a company reorganize, a public company, and so I went and helped a public company clean up their oil and gas mess, and that's how I really got into minerals. And so now that's all I've done for the last 5 years is just mineral property. One thing I've learned, and the reason I went from drilling to minerals only, is because with drilling you've got a lot of expenses and liabilities, and the environment with rules and regulations makes it really difficult for small individual companies to drill and operate wells. And so what we do with Mineral Royalties Group is we buy the minerals where there's a $1 billion oil and gas company that's already in place. And so that way we're getting paid from a $1 billion company. And what we do is we parlay that knowledge and experience to help the individual investor, be a part of that industry type operation.
So I can understand you have been in technology from a long time. You understand technology very well.
A little bit, yeah. Technology changes a lot, just like oil and gas. Everything changes, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, you can't hardly see it, but your little cell phone has got more technology than the space shuttle that went all the way to the moon, right? Back in the 80s and 90s. So, yeah, technology is always changing. And because oil and gas is a technology, uses a lot of technology in every aspect, that's why we keep getting better. We're able to go into areas that, 20, 30 years ago was considered unproductive zone. And today with technology, we can drill horizontal, frack it, and get out the oil and gas that's trapped in that rock. And then to take that technology, the experience of technology, the experience of oil and gas, goes together to go mine Bitcoin. And that's kind of what we've done. And so, yeah, it's funny how life works sometimes, but take it as it comes, as they say.
And what do you say about blockchain technology?
Yeah, I remember reading a white paper from IBM years ago, and it was a white paper regarding blockchain. And eventually, everything is going to be on the blockchain, in my opinion. From real estate, mineral properties. I can imagine that you'll go to the grocery store with your little phone, and there'll be a little QR code or barcode or something on an orange or an apple. And you'll be able to scan that, and you'll know what tree, what state, and what date that fruit was picked. So, and I think all that will ride on the blockchain. And I think security. I would love to see voting go on the blockchain. Voting for politicians. I think that would be a breakthrough of one person, one vote, and everybody have a secure election, and that way there's no questions and no crazy talk, and not worried about people stealing elections. So I think the blockchain as a whole is going to make a world a better place, and I think it's going to be available for anybody in the world to have access. Selling mineral properties. You imagine if I had that on the blockchain right now, people in India could buy, mineral property right off the blockchain, and it's yours, and you get paid through cryptocurrency, and that's so quick and fast, and I did a wire the other day to overseas to Europe, and it's crazy how much time and effort it takes to set up a wire. Whereas, when I'm buying and selling stuff off the cryptocurrency, I bought some NFTs. I'm really proud of some of the NFTs. You find me on Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter. You can see some of the NFTs that I participate in, but they all have a real value behind. It's not just a little JPEG, but it's a JPEG that has a real asset to it. But anybody in the world can be a part of the NFT community. I think you're going to see ordinals, riding on the Bitcoin blockchain. Anybody in the world can be a part of that. So that's why anybody in the world can be a part of our Bitcoin mining through the crowdfund. So, but yeah, that's a great question. I like that about the Bitcoin or blockchain. People really need to pay attention to blockchain. It's going to change the world, but it's taking a little longer than it should.
And I have a couple of questions at last.
Okay.
So what is it? Yeah, you have been in business from long time, and you're interacting with a lot of individuals for your profession. So being a people's person, being a salesperson, being talking with people, what all you have learned, and what kind of a communication that
Yeah.
the communication skills that you have developed.
Man. Boy, I could talk to you all day about that. I think, so with technology needs to be understood better. The problem with emails and text messages is it doesn't have any voice inflection, and it doesn't have body movement, right? And so the majority of our communication, which I love video like this, is that we're able to see each other, right? I'm laughing or crying or, don't say that. You can see people's faces. You can judge what they're thinking by looking at them. And so with text messages and emails, you lose a lot of communication. And so it's very, very difficult. And what I'm finding is more and more people want to move to, just emails or text messages to communicate with. And I don't think I'm being old school about this, even though I am old school. But I think people need to just use text and emails just to sending information more than communication. I think there's a lot of miscommunication in text and emails. But I think if people would, when people are working together, people are quick to judge, and people need to be slow to judge. Fast to listen. I'm talking more on this than you are, but if people talk less and listen more, I think people will get along better and be able to work together better. But one thing I taught my daughter, matter of fact, some colleagues and I were talking about this the other day. There's an old saying, on time is late. 10 minutes early is on time, and late is just unacceptable. And I think more and more people need to do that. If you find yourself getting to work late, just get up earlier. People driving 100 miles an hour down the road trying to get to work because they're late, and they're sitting there drinking a latte and doing their makeup and going 100 miles an hour down the road. That's, recipe for problems. Just relax, take your time, enjoy life. Don't jump to conclusions without actually knowing the situation. Sometimes, people can have an accident on the way to work. So before you write up the dismissal paperwork, make sure you know why they're late. that's good for life. Family, friends. If you're meeting people and somebody didn't show up, before you get upset, find out why. You may be making a hospital visit as opposed to having dinner together.
So I can understand as a human being about the communication and communicating with people and the communication mediums that you choose to communicate with human beings. I think you have enough knowledge about it, being in the different industries and interacting with different human beings.
Yeah, I'm a lucky man. I've got to,
Mm.
I got to witness and do a lot of different things. And, I wouldn't be here where I'm at today without knowing good people. And, it's hard to find good people. So when you find good people, you better treat them good and treat them with respect and keep them around for a while.
Awesome.
'Cause,
So, yeah.
yeah, to
So,
me, that's the most important thing. People with good character, high morals, ethics, no business is good business without those things as a foundation.
it's a well said point. So, as a communicator, as a person who understood how communication skills and communicating with people in businesses and uh, understanding, oil and gas business, also understanding technology business, and uh, talking with a lot of experts. What is your observation about my work? You have seen my work on my YouTube channel and me talking with global experts.
Yeah, it was quite interesting to see all the different industries. I don't think you focus on an industry; you focus on leaders in different industries, and I think that makes you very unique. I really like what you have out there. I hope you do well and continue great success in what you're doing.
And your experience in this conversation,
I'm sorry?
your experience about this conversation in this chat.
You know, People keep telling me I need to do podcasts. I started 2 years ago doing a YouTube channel for the mineral properties, and I just do those little 1 minute shorts, with my cell phone, believe it or not, make a little JPEG, and people really like, but when I do a video, I try to make sure that I put, whatever I'm talking about, if it's facts and things, I put a link down in the YouTube, has a description, right? And so, um, when I first started doing videos on the internet 2 years ago, I was horrible. So I've gotten a little bit better, and but I think this is an important medium, and I think this type of work, the podcast and all, I think this is a great way to, not give the 1 minute sound bites, but if you want to dig in and get deeper into, information about people or an industry, this is a great medium to use.
Awesome. Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes, you
And
may.
also can I
I've
put
not
this
even
on?
looked at it. You're fine.
So, and also can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I'll
Do I
share your
get to
web
do the
links.
same?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll put a link to your site.
Yeah, sure. And I'll put your web links in the description of this video on YouTube, also on my website, my personal website. I'll share your business website. So people who visits my website can able to see the work that you're doing and can
Oh,
see the
thank you.
service that you're providing.
That would be fantastic. Thank you very much.
And if you can, yeah, I can understand you are more, understanding about the communication and the communication between human beings and communication systems. So, uh, uh, if you can share your opinion about my sponsor, chat tool that they are working, that's a communication related tool in few words, that will be great.
Uh, I don't know. Chat too?
Yeah, chat tool where all chat chat uh, softwares like the Microsoft Teams or technology tools which are integrated and built for better communication purpose for businesses.
Oh, I'm not sure I understand. You want me to talk about chat too?
Yeah, just just a few words if you can write it, that will be helpful. That's it. I will
Uh,
show you. I will send you the website of
oh, okay. Yeah. You send it to me and I'll look. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can. Your valuable feedback about it will be really helpful.
Oh, okay. I got you. My apologies. Okay. Yes, I'll do that for you.
Thank you very much again, Douglas, for giving me your valuable time and sharing some of your experiences and telling about the work that you are doing to my audience.
Okay, great. Well, I hope your audience has a great day. I hope they
Yes,
share you with more people.
definitely. Even if one person, gets a positive energy because of the words that you have said in this conversation, that will be a great contribution to the planet.
There you go. I hope so.
Uh,
That's a goal. Keep making
yeah,
good contributions to the planet for sure.
definitely, sir. Thank you again.
All right, Si. Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Have a great day.
Bye. Bye. Thank you, sir. It's Start Adam. Sales and customer facing teams often switch between several communication tools, causing time management and visibility issues that can slow down deal velocity. The solution, join Start Adam, where conversation converts. With Start Adam, your team can centralize all communications with your chat tool. No more switching, waiting, or fragmented chats because chat messaging is where business gets done. Sales teams can stay in Slack or Microsoft Teams and connect with customers, leads, or candidates on their existing chat tool, building better relationships through constant communication in inbound or outbound messaging. Make it encrypted and compliant. Plus, bring all communications in your CRM or ticketing system, no data entry required. Join Start Adam to enhance customer relationships and close deals at hyper speed with unified chat.